Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of a town called Bigstone. It's a place so packed with secrets, it just took one man's drunken mistake to unravel the whole thing.
So that's really the question at the heart of this story, isn't it? It's this classic power dynamic completely flipped on its head. What happens when a town's carefully built reputation is threatened from the very, very bottom?
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Our story kicks off with the arrival of a stranger in the, seemingly quiet town of Bigstone.
You know, Bigstone is really a tale of two towns. Publicly, on the surface, it's the absolute picture of respectability. We're talking civic pride, deep religious faith, all run by these powerful, established families. But underneath all that polish, it is a whole different world. A secret world full of dirty political deals, illicit affairs, and just layers of hypocrisy.
And into this divided town walks our guy, a total stranger. He's this solitary wanderer, and he decides to make his home in the abandoned bandstand right in the main square. After he spouts a few lines of poetry, some local politician mockingly calls him plebeo, the plebeian poet. To most folks, he's just invisible, a harmless drunk. What they don't realize is that he's about to become a mirror, held right up to their faces.
So how does this invisible man suddenly become the town's biggest threat? Well, it all starts with a simple, almost ridiculous case of mistaken identity. Okay, picture this. It's a cold Wednesday morning. The town priest gets called away for an emergency. Meanwhile, plebeu, he's just looking for a warm, quiet spot to sleep off a night of cheap booze. He stumbles into the empty church, and what does he find? The perfect spot, the priest's side of the confessional. He curls up in there and is out like a light.
He's jolted awake by a voice coming from the other side of the screen. And who is it? It's none other than the mayor, Monsignor, confessing that he took a cash bribe for a public works contract. Plebe, still totally hungover, just kind of mumbles some generic penance. The mayor takes this as legit absolution and scoots. And just like that, the first secret is out.
Minutes later, another voice. This time, it's the First Lady, Donna Flor. And get this, she's confessing she borrowed a bunch of cash from her husband's desk. In this moment of pure, beautiful irony, Plebeo realizes it's almost definitely the same exact bribe money the mayor just confessed to taking. He just absurdly mumbles something about it being community property anyway and sends her on her way. And the confessions just keep getting wilder. The pharmacist's wife comes in and admits she's been secretly slipping her husband some, vitamins to boost his vigor. Well, the plan worked a little too well. He's now so insatiable that she had to send him down to the local brothel just to get a moment's peace. You can't make this stuff up.
Then comes the real bombshell. This one is from John Rico, the town's richest rancher, a real pillar of masculinity in the community. He confesses that after a drunken night on a business trip, he woke up being spooned by his own male foreman. Now, in a town like Bigstone, a secret like that isn't just a secret, it's social dynamite. And the final nail in the coffin comes from Saul, the madam of the local brothel. She confesses that her single biggest problem customer is the delegate. Yep, the town's chief of police, who comes in every single week, uses all the services, and then just refuses to pay his tab. And just like that, Plebeu has accidentally collected all the skeletons from all of Bigstone's most important closets. So at this point, Plebeu is basically a walking, talking vault of Bigstone's darkest secrets. The only question is, how does that vault get opened? Well, the answer lies in the two things that define him, whiskey and verse.
The entire town's downfall happens in 4 simple, absolutely disastrous steps. First, Plebeius hears the confessions. Easy enough. Then, a few days later, a guy from the local radio station gets him drunk, hoping to record some of his rhymes. The booze unlocks his memory, and he starts turning all those secrets into poetry. The radio assistant, too drunk himself to notice what's happening, just records everything. Finally, that unedited raw tape gets broadcast all over town on Sunday morning, and the damage is done.
As you can imagine, the newly exposed elite of Bigstone, they do not react well. Not at all.
Their response is swift, and it is absolutely furious.
I mean, this timeline says it all. The radio show ends at 9:35 in the morning. By 10:15, less than an hour later, the mayor is on the phone screaming for an arrest. By noon, there's an official warrant out for calumny and defamation. And by 1 o'clock, reward posters for Plebeo are plastered all over town. In less than 4 hours, a full-blown manhunt is on.
But here's the thing. That public manhunt, that's just for show. Privately, the mayor and the rancher give the delegate a much, much darker order. Find Plebeo, take him somewhere far away, and make sure he suffers the same destination as Judas. They don't just want him quieted. They want him gone, for good.
But the powerful people of Bigstone, they underestimated one crucial thing: the power of friendship. Turns out Plebeo wasn't entirely alone after all. A young woman named Maria, who had actually befriended the lonely poet, she would read to him in the square, she immediately realizes the danger he's in. So while the cops are tearing the town apart looking for him, she finds him passed out in a boat, hides him, and then helps him escape down the river under the cover of darkness.
And he leaves a letter behind for her. It's just heartbreaking. He writes that her friendship was the one thing that made him want to stop his wandering. He says it brought me back to life. But his old habits, his drinking, led him to betray that, and now he has to disappear again.
So Plebeo the man is gone, but Plebeo the legend? Oh, that's just getting started. Months after he vanishes, these popular folk pamphlets, they're called Folletos de Cordel, start showing up, and they tell the entire story, all in rhyme, turning the whole scandal into a legend and immortalizing the mysterious poet who blew the lid off the town.
The pamphlet, which, let's be honest, everyone pretty much suspects was written by Plebe himself, ends with these lines. It just cements his place in local folklore. He was the plebeian poet who showed up in that city to tell his story. But the story has one final, hopeful twist. Inspired by that pamphlet, and by her own feelings, Maria has this realization. She loves Plebeo. So she packs a bag, leaves a note for her mom, and sets off on her own journey down the river, determined to find the man who accidentally told the truth and changed her life forever.
And all of that leaves us with one final big question. The story is called The Sins of Bigstone, but it really makes you ask, who committed the greater sin here? The powerful people who were living a lie, or the drunken poet who, in his own flawed, messy way, just told the truth?